All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the third annual Weekend of Innovation Finals. My name is Corey Ann Eldridge, and I have the pleasure of leading our interns here this summer. For those of you that are not as familiar with our internship program, each year we host 115 students for a 3-month period. And this year, we had 80 of those that volunteered to participate in our Weekend of Innovation. So what this weekend looked like, it's a completely volunteer weekend for our interns. They volunteer of their time to come get placed into a team where they will innovate and create potentially the next best idea for Esri. This year, with the 80 participants, we had 16 teams that were assembled. 15 of those were based here at our Esri Cafe that we transformed into the Esri Innovation Center. We also had one remote team comprised of 3 interns in our Charlotte regional office and 1 intern out of our Portland, Maine R&D center. So it was a great weekend, a lot of hours spent. An example of their schedule, it's actually a 4-day event where they put in more than 30 hours over the weekend, and they spent 2 weeks before the event conceptualizing their ideas, getting together as a team, building their team culture to come together for a 3-day event, culminating in today's finals. Now, this large event could not be done without the help of many divisions here. So this year, we partnered not only with Jack Dangerman, but also our Esri Labs and software development teams, and we also had our AV and event teams help us to put on such a great weekend. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our lead developer, Sathya, who helped us to prepare this weekend.
All right. Thank you, Corian. So we as organizers put a lot of effort into this event, but it's actually about the participants. So to help them out during the event, because they just had such a short time and they had to do something amazing, we had an amazing set of mentors who signed up. So if the mentors are over here, I would ask you to stand up, please, if there are any, or if they're watching in a live stream, that's great too. So the mentors actually stayed throughout the event, right from Friday to Sunday. They helped them out with everything, all the questions they had, and even guided them along the way. So we had mentors from support, from software development, and also the startup program. So a big thank you. We're using the latest technologies to run this event. So obviously everything was run electronically and digitally. So that we don't have to keep meeting with these amazing set of people. So we just used Slack and Zoom and all those stuff. Just to give you an idea, we spent 46 hours together in the cafe. We had over 8,000 Slack messages just in those 46 hours. So you can get an idea of the communication that happened. They were right next to each other, by the way, but still they communicated via Slack because that was more efficient, right? They also took time to take selfies and posted them on Instagram and Twitter. That's great. And then they were tweeting throughout the day. However, I've actually seen a trend that the number of tweets is going less each year because there's more competition out there. So Snapchat and Instagram is taking over. So just to give you guys an idea, this is how the event was run. We had 16 teams. These are the names of the teams. You will get to know them shortly. So this was a challenge too. I just wanted to mention that when they initially registered for the hackathon, they did not know what's going to happen. We actually created the teams for them. So we created teams of 5, and we made sure that each team had developers, a few GIS people, and a few creative people. And they were put together just like how we guys work at Esri, right? So when you join work, you don't pick your team, you join a team, right? So you get all kinds of people in it, and similarly, we just wanted to simulate that, and so we actually created teams for them. They didn't know each other very well, so they met during the pre-hackathon time that they had, and they came up with not only the names of the teams, they also came up with an abstract or an idea that they had to do. And we had to lock in that idea about a week before so that they can concentrate on getting it done and not figure out on the fly. when the event was actually going on. So just to give you guys, because most of you were not in that event, just to give you guys that what happened, let's watch a short, it's not a short, it's about an 8-minute video, so that you guys get a good idea of what all the 16 ideas were, all right? So let's play the video, please.
Are your friends late for dinner again? You have no clue where they are or when they're going to arrive? You feel like you can never track anybody down? No fear, Team Convergence is here. My name is Max. This is Morgan, Kushiana, Bushan, and Tuja. Our app Rendezvous solves your get-together woes. Rendezvous utilizes GPS tracking real-time technology and travel time analysis to track your group members on their journey to one common destination. It eliminates uncertainty, saves time, and most importantly, makes meeting up fun. Thank you for your time.
Hey everybody, I'm Julia.
I'm Yash.
I'm Ranga. I'm Gongchen.
And I'm Ruben. And we're the Street Boys.
And one girl.
We're developing Go Historic, a semantic search engine to assist the everyday traveler seeking to find and learn about historical places around the world. Whether you're visiting parks, museums, temples, or cities, our app will provide you with the best search results in a spatial format. So quit playing games with those normal, incomplete search engines and use Go Historic for when you want it that way.
I'm Qingyu.
I'm Adam.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Hu.
And we are Team
International. And our project is called Radventure, a platform that lets you share all of your rad adventures. The goal of our project is to help our users create a chronological narrative for their travel experiences that are paired with their pictures, and then share those with their community. The problem with the current solutions that exist right now, travel blogs, social media, or even photo blogs, is that they don't really marry these two ideas of the narrative and these pictures really well. And so we hope to accomplish that.
Hi, we're Team Take a Hike, and I'm Hannah.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Calvin.
And I'm Tushar.
And I'm Caroline, and our web app, Arc Adventure, allows users to explore the outdoor world around them. Through our app, users can choose when and where they want to go, what outdoor activities suit them, to create an itinerary, or just explore the map to see all the natural resources the U.S. has to offer.
Hi, I'm Amir.
Dana, Laura, Michaela,
and Luke, and we are
Baby Got Hacked.
This weekend we built an app called TerraLens, which is a mixed reality visualization application that lets you explore environmental changes in near real time. First, we take you on an adventure to Nova Scotia, where we look at the changes in climate in 3 dimensions on a beautiful landscape in front of you, and look at different heat maps changing over time. Then we go to the Himalayas, where you can actually see different climate change statistics in perspective of Mount Everest. Our goal is to inspire the next generation to be more environmentally aware and to understand the power of the science of where.
I'm Evgeny.
I'm Grayson.
I'm Unker.
I'm Cyrus. I'm Thomas.
And we are our sincerest topologies, and we're here to talk to you today about our product called Visible.
So our product is a combination of visualizations and information ability. Let's say you're reading an article in the New York Times in your browser, and it's talking about an area of the world that you're not super familiar with. You can click a single button in your Chrome browser, and it'll pull up in real time a map after reading the article for all the relevant geographic information of the locations in the world that that article talks about. The goal of this is to increase the geoliteracy of a layperson and give them access to information that would otherwise be kind of challenging to get to.
Hi everyone, we are No More Problems. My name is Alex, this is Audrey, this is Blair, Adan, and Zach. Because users are finding it difficult to transition between ArcMap to ArcGIS Pro, we have developed an integrated assistant to help ease with the transition, while also helping new users adopt Pro faster.
This interactive feature, programmed directly into the ribbon, will allow users to create action-based tutorials that can be shared with their organizations and make workflows a lot easier to follow. In addition to that, users can also save, modify, edit, and share those tutorials with that same organization.
Hi, I'm Nadisha along with Adam, Jalisa, Jinwen, and Ehsan, and we're the team Interns. Through the website that we have built, we try to achieve 2 objectives. 1 is for the interns to stay informed about their intern class, and 2, to get to know more about the area through intern recommendations. This is a lot of information, so we have tried to put this visually using ArcGIS maps. Therefore, the whole point of this is for the interns to stay informed and make the most of their time here at Esri in Redlands.
I'm Alec. That's Amy, Dan, Tao, and Aaron. And we're Team Firecatcher.
Firecatcher is a mobile application app that promotes physical fitness and well-being
with a quirky twist.
It encourages workers to take their daily short breaks and to participate in an exciting activity, discovering unicorns.
Our app works to combat workplace lethargy, presenteeism, and the daily sedentary environments encountered on the job.
And it can supplement corporate health programs by offering fun and unique incentives in the form of weekly or monthly prizes. Firecatcher is mobile exploration. Firecatcher is the science of where
Good morning. My name is Ronak. This is Franco, Nitish, Emilio, and Joe, and we are the men of ARC. It is said that in the age of information, ignorance is a choice, and we, as fitness aficionados and enthusiasts, want you to make a well-informed decision about your fitness. While there are apps out there in the market that allow you to train, track, compare, compete, and socialize, Run Immersion, which is our app based on Esri platform, allows you to customize, personalize, and most importantly, 3D visualize your route right from the comfort of your house. Thank you.
Hi, we are
Districts.
I'm Max.
I'm Alexandra.
I'm Nilufar.
I'm Martine.
And I'm Harrison. What we've done is build a web-based tool that allows our users to view relevant census demographic information and make changes to school area polygons and view those in an infographic widget.
Hi, we are the NGeographers. Team members are Zaran, Rashab, I'm Corey, this is Tyler, and Marco.
Currently, there's a problem with donation for the lay donor. There's a disconnect between the donor and the beneficiary. When you donate to a large company, you have no idea what project that money is actually being implemented in, so there's a disconnect there. We've created an integrated platform to enable donors to make informed decisions on where he or she wants to donate, and we directly connect the donor with the beneficiary through story maps of specific projects.
My name is Evo.
My name is Alice.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Joanna.
I'm Shobit.
And we are GI.
Yes!
Real-time data is getting more powerful and accessible.
However, can we use this data to determine spatial and temporal patterns? And if so, can it be used in industries such as transportation?
Yes. Using San Francisco traffic incidents as an example, we built an add-on to Arc Pro that passively analyzes real-time data in an hourly loop. The tool also allows us to generate temporal heat maps that shows where incidents happen most frequently and their duration.
Hello, we are the map setters. My name is Felicia.
I'm Octavio.
I'm Eliza.
I'm Devontae.
I am Money.
And we created an app called News Circle. News Circle allows people to post news and local events that pertain to their community. So by offering an app that focuses on location-based crowdsourced news, we're bringing in diversity, inclusion, and user-focused reporting that can be visualized on a map.
Hello, everybody. We are Team +5. My name is Logan. This is Schwerta, Richard, Jacob, and Lynn. This weekend, we have been developing a route share application that will allow users to plan a route, share and visualize routes with friends, and based on time constraints and real-time location, it will suggest an optimal meeting point for multiple users, multiple routes. So with this application, we envision it being a bridge between online social media and planning activities with offline interactions.
Hey guys, I'm John.
Richard. I'm Tyler.
I'm Jay. And we're Team Wine GIS. Do you like wine? We like wine. We made an app about wine. This app will tell you where to get wine, what kind of wine you like, and where to get it.
All right. So you could see there's a lot of energy, passion, enthusiasm, a lot of big ideas, not knowing whether they could finish it or not. So everything was on. We didn't know what's going to happen. So here are the 16 teams. And what happened was on Sunday, when the competition was over, we had a lightning presentation round. So there were judges over there. Jack was also there, actually helping us out. And so we actually judged all these teams to select the top 8. That was the idea. It so happened that the 8th team and the 9th team had the same score, so we ended up having top 9 this year. So we're going to actually start seeing the top 9 presentations today. And the top 9 teams are Baby Got Hack, Hack Street Boys, our Sincerest Topologies, Angiographers, Mapsetters, No More Problems, Firecatcher, Men of Arc, and GIS Tricks. This is no particular order. And these guys will actually, present one after the other right now. And before I do that, we've done a huge improvement from last year. We're going to ask all of you guys to help us pick the winners. If you have not seen, there was a like a note on your seat, which actually gave you more information on the voting itself. So basically what we want is, if you have any mobile device, tablet, browser, as long as you can get to internet, open up that link, and we have a real-time application that we have built, one of the other interns built, who did not participate, actually built, which will actually allow you to pick the team that is presenting, and once they are done, we ask you to vote for them with these 3 categories. The idea, do you guys think the idea is a good one, that's practical, and the presentation, the overall presentation, and use of ArcGIS. It could be services, platform, APIs, SDK, whatever they have used. Do you guys think they made good use of ArcGIS in their solution? That is the idea. All right. Please don't start voting right now. You have to wait for them to present, and only vote for the team that's actually presenting. All right. You will have to register with your Esri email. This is not AV World or anything. It's brand new stuff, so it just takes a second. So please register, and once you do that, you can start voting. So without further ado, let's get started. It's team 1, the first team, angiographers. Are you guys ready? Yes? All right, give it up for angiographers.
Hello, good morning. Hope everyone is well. I just want to start off by asking you, how many of you have ever made a donation to a charity before? And how many of you would be willing to donate to a social cause that you can personally resonate with? Well, our app allows anyone to make informed, intelligent decisions on where to make those donations. Don't you wish you had a platform where you could see what projects are being carried out, where, and by who? Our mission is to not only empower donors, but also give organizations worldwide equal recognition, no matter how big or small they are. We developed a mobile platform that seamlessly connects you, the donor, to the beneficiary through the charities.
Esri is a company whose mission it is to build meaningful technology that affects real change throughout the world. Our goal was to create a product that was worthy of this noble mission, and something that crossed multiple sectors, just like Esri's technology does. Our app provides you a map of the world where you can search projects that are currently going on based on the category. We also provide layers that inform your decisions through these prosperity metrics. For example, the map that we have shown here is deforestation, with projects that have to do with the environment. Our app is project-centric, which means you're not searching for a charity, you're searching for a specific project that means something to you. Through our app, you can easily research a project, donate to something that personally resonates with you, and track its progress through story maps. As you continue to donate through our app, you will develop your social profile as a social investor. Our app gives new meaning to this modern buzzword, social capital. As you donate, you can share the meaningful projects with your community and friends and family so that they can also join the cause and create a meaningful impact in the world. Some other highlights that I wanted to mention about our app before we get into the demo. Due to the diverse nature of our team, we're also able to create some user agreements and project creation agreements. We also created some smart layers with those prosperity metrics. The Viola indices were developed in ArcGIS Pro using Model Builder, and the Zarin index were developed in R using machine learning techniques, k-means clustering, and random forest methods.
All right, so let's get to the demo. So the first thing that you see when you open up the app is actually one of Esri's beautiful base maps. And like Tyler was mentioning, the two main categories, the two main things that go into the app are the prosperity metrics as layers and the actual projects. So if I open up this filters button, what I could do is I could say, I care about literacy around the world, and I could toggle the literacy rate layer. And then I want to see education projects around the world as well. So then I toggle the education project type. And then I go back into the map, and I don't really understand what this means, so let me look at the legend. Okay, so it's clear that the darker the color is, the better the literacy rate. So let me go back, and okay, it's clear that there's a really poor literacy rate here. So let me just tap on this project to see what it looks like. And this opens up a new view that shows you the name of the project, it shows you the charity that runs the project, a brief description of the project itself, a link to the project story map, and some funding information about the project. So I can see that this project already has 29 people who have invested in it. There are 36 days left to go in this funding initiative, and there's $450 left for this funding project to complete. So what I could do is, if I were a student, say on a gap year, I may want to volunteer for this project. So this button, the volunteer button, would connect me to the company or the charity and help me understand more about that process. But if I just wanted to donate, I just click this button and seamlessly donate as little or as much as I want to this cause. That's the essence of that part. Let's say I wanted to see earthquakes around the world. Shows me the earthquakes. Let's say, so Tyler was talking about the smart layers that we came up with. And so Zarin and Marco worked on aggregating a lot of this data to make it even simpler for you. So if you wanted to not care about anything and just see the areas in the world that are in most need of help, the Zarin index can actually do that for you. It shows you just a general aggregation of all the different prosperity metrics into one useful layer. So let's say I wanted to look at that and I cared about environmental projects. The next thing that I could do is, let's say I was a Hawaii native. I know I don't look like it, but let me click on this project here because I care about what's happening in my hometown. Okay, island revival, something cool. But I don't really, the description isn't enough for me, so let me look at its story map. So the app actually loads, seamlessly integrates Esri story maps into it, and helps me take a look a little bit clearer about what's going on here. Yeah, so that's essentially what the app allows me to do. And then Tyler was also talking about the profile. So I could go into my profile and look at my most recent donations. And if you look at each of the recent donations, it shows you milestone X is in progress. That's basically a way of tracking the progress of these projects, so I know which stage it's actually in. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
We believe that engaging people in this data-rich, context-driven platform will empower both NGOs, charities, and donors like yourselves. NGOs will no longer be at the mercy of big corporations and their CSR budgets, and philanthropic citizens like yourselves will have an intuitive app where you can make the best out of your contributions. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." We believe that our app connects these small groups of global citizens in a powerful way that will truly affect the world and make positive change happen.
All right. All right, team. So, you guys done? Yes?
If you don't mind, I just want to end with a quick observation.
Okay.
I was talking to a friend about our platform, and the first thing that she said was, effective altruism is hip now, so you have a great idea. And my first thought was, that's not what this is about. We're not opportunists trying to capitalize on some fad. We're trying to help, our goal should be to help nurture the world and our society into a more conscientious, compassionate one. And I think that our app will provide users with that sense of goodwill and the satisfaction that comes, the fulfillment that comes from watching your money used for important humanitarian causes. And I think that the only barrier to your helping change the world should be the extent of your goodwill. Thank you.
All right. You guys can come over here. The next team will actually get set up. The scoring is open. If you guys have not yet scored, please do. And so team angiographers, can you please come over here? Yeah, thank you. A big round of applause, please. All right. All right. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Do you guys want to actually tell us about the most difficult thing that you did over the weekend? Just one thing. What would be the most difficult thing?
Well, the most difficult thing was probably demystifying the ArcGIS SDK. It's hard to implement that and understand it really well, but it's a really powerful tool, and once you get the hang of it, it can do a lot of amazing stuff.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, so next up is our second team, Hack Street Boys and one girl. The official name is just Hack Street Boys, but we just added one. Are you guys ready? Yes? All right, take it away, please.
All right, thank you guys for joining us today on our reunion tour. It's been pretty fun since the hackathon. I'm Ruben, this is Julia, Gain Chen, Ranga, and Yesh, and we are Hack Street Boys, and we developed Go Historic. And by show of hands, how many of you like to travel to historical places like these? Great, awesome. Well, with Go Historic, we developed a semantic search engine to assist the everyday traveler seeking to find and learn about historical places around the world and in a spatial format. So, what was the motivation behind creating Go Historic? Well, the motivation was to create a more intelligent search engine, so other than a normal elastic search engine. So for instance, if you were to search university into a normal elastic search engine, the keyword would normally provide, or the search results would provide, university. Whereas in a semantic search engine, it's more of an artificial intelligent form. So it's trying to understand the word university. So you'll probably get results such as education, schools, or colleges. So what do we propose? So not only did we create a historical app looking for historical places, we propose you to use the semantic search engine, well, to use the framework of a general, the general framework of a semantic search engine. Oh my goodness. In a spatial format. My apologies, stage fright. And then, next slide. Okay, great. So how do we create our semantic search engine? Well, we have our great team members here, Gain Chen, who did the data collection, the machine learning model, and the preparation of the RESTful APIs. We also have Julia, who did the data visuals of Arc Map. She did Arc Pro, and then other tools such as Tin, Dissolve, and Spatial Join. We also have Yash and Ranga, who did the front end of our semantic search engine using ArcGIS JavaScript for API, and then has for me, I created the presentation, the pitch, and then most importantly, I was their Hack Street Boy backup dancer. And so, other than that, one of the challenges that we had were building efficient search functionalities. And so are you guys ready to see our awesome demo? All right, great. So I'll be handling over to Julia here.
All right, hey guys. So I'm gonna show you how our awesome semantic search engine actually works. So what you're seeing here is a semantic map where each black point actually represents a historical place. And the closer the 2 points are together, the higher their semantic similarity score is. The polygons represent upper-level concept clusters like bridges and petroglyphs, as you can see here, which are pretty common terms. And now we're going to show you this in action. So we're going to search for something like graveyards, which is probably not where you're thinking you're going to go on your next vacation, or maybe it is. We don't judge. But it works well for our presentation, so we're going to use it. And now our search engine is going to search through the 20,000 results, and it's going to pull up the best things. So as you can see, most of the points fall within this concept polygon of cemetery, which makes sense because that's basically what we're looking for. And you can also see that not all the results contain graveyard. We're also able to find cemeteries, burial grounds, and even bone stone graves, whatever those are. So you're probably wondering, oh, also the little red flag will return the tab result, which is super helpful. So you're probably wondering how we did this, because I know when Genshin pitched the idea to me at first, I was wondering as well. So we use semantic query expansion, where the search engine actually takes in the input from the user, which in this case is a graveyard, and then uses background machine learning models to find terms that are semantically similar to graveyard, which in this case are things like cemetery and burial ground, which is pretty cool, right? So if you're still not convinced about how awesome this is, we're gonna up our game just a little bit, and we're gonna search the upper level concept of graveyard, which is burial. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know what burial means, probably all of you. It's not a hard concept, but there's not many places that actually use burial in the name. So our search engine is gonna have to work a little bit harder. And as you can see from the results, almost none of these results have burial in the name, but we're still able to find what we're looking for, like the Greenwich Cemetery and burial grounds, and good old Bonestone graves. And you can also see that all of the points fall within the concept cluster of cemetery, which is pretty cool. Now, our developers are really smart and they love this semantic format, but most people are visual and we like to give the people what they want, so we created this helpful map so you can see all these points in a spatial format. It's super convenient for when you want to plan your next road trip of East Coast cemeteries. So we're gonna click on something that looks interesting, like the second choice here. The map is gonna zoom to it. We're gonna click on that helpful red flag that we talked about earlier. A pop-up's gonna come up with information, pictures, and a word cloud of similar terms that you can search later. And if this looks interesting, you can click on the Wikipedia link, where you can see more information about this place, and you can start planning your next trip, which hopefully won't be to a burial ground, but like we said, we don't judge.
Great. So are you guys excited about Go? Are you guys excited about Go Historic? Awesome. Great. Well, some of the future work we would like to do is to have a more robust search results for larger data sets, faster and more efficient search engine, and then create a walk and learn app somewhere along the way. So if you guys enjoyed our presentation and the work that we've done, please make sure to vote. We are Hack Street Boys. If you didn't, we are in sync, and bye, bye, bye.
All right, thank you guys. Can you just come over here? We do have time for one question before the other team gets sets up. Does anyone have a question? Just pops up. So I actually have a question. Do you guys think you did everything over the weekend?
So actually,
it's on.
Actually, I did some data preparation beforehand, like say how to collect the Wikipedia data and how to stream it, tokenize, like some basic data preparation. But I built a machine learning model during the weekend. Yes.
All right, cool. That's great. All right, guys, thank you. And the next team that's going to present is our sincerest topologies. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Yes, yes. All right, they are ready. Okay, let's get started.
All right, good morning, everyone. We are our sincerest topologies, and we're here to talk to you today about our product called Visible, which is a combination of the words visible and enable, or visual, excuse me. So the first slide here is going to be our thought process as we were looking at what we wanted to design for a product. So we started really broadly with Esri's mission of delivering the science of where. We then identified a platform that sees a lot of action on a day-to-day basis, which is web browsers, excuse me. And then from there, we identified a specific type of content that we thought we could really geo-enrich, which is news. Sorry, this is basically just our mission, which goes through enhancing geoliteracy using GIS web services for all audiences.
All right, so most of you probably read the news at some point in your day-to-day, and let's say you're reading an article about the New York Times, and you'll often come across locations that you've probably heard of at some point, but you're not exactly sure where in the world they are. So you've probably heard of Sudan, Libya, Lebanon, Dubai, Uganda, but you're maybe not exactly sure where those places in the world are. Show of hands, how many of you have heard of Juba? All right, we have one person, super minority. Congratulations, you win the prize. For the rest of you, Juba is actually a city in South Sudan. And The fact that it wasn't clear where that place was goes to show how effective this product could be for the day-to-day user, right? So our goal is to democratize the information related to geography and make it accessible to as many people as possible without having to do a lot of legwork in downloading or installing something else. So next slide. So our solution is a built-in Chrome extension where you can be reading through an article on your day-to-day, click on a single button in the top right of your browser, and that Chrome extension will parse the entire article, find relevant geographic information and locations, and then show you those locations in a real-time 3D map that you can zoom around and play with inside of your browser, which we'll show you in about a minute. The way we built it is we have a front end, the Chrome extension that parses the entire article, hands it over to a backend built in Flask, which is a Python micro framework that parses it, uses some natural language processing, finds relevant location data, hands it back to that front end. The front end then displays it using WebGL in the browser in the extension on that 3D map I mentioned. We then have some geo-enriching that we do, which we'll talk about in a second. The reason we chose Chrome was because apps and other hardware are really fantastic, but honestly, most people aren't downloading new apps. There was a report that 65% of people don't download any apps in a given month, and only a third of people do so at all. And so we wanted to go with something, a platform that is used really commonly across the world. In this case, we're using Chrome with over 1 billion users on a consistent basis.
All right, so to put this all together, we used 4 key company products. We started off with the World Geocoder to geocode the place names that we identified on the web pages. We used the Geo-Enrichment service to include relevant contextual data that helps the user better understand the places that they're viewing in the map. We used online and the JavaScript API to process and visualize that data right in the Chrome extension. So before we go on to the demo, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone on the team. Ankur, Afghani, and Thomas are our developers. They did an absolutely amazing job doing, working really, working together to get the front end and the back end working. Every single one of them did everything. Thomas was our JavaScript king. He worked with the API. Afghani with the Chrome extension, making sure ArcGIS Online loaded and the scene was visible and clear and amazing. This guy right here, working with Flask and actually developing the natural language toolkit, customizing it so it better reads geographic data. And then Grayson and I worked on the project management and design process to actually put together this product that we're really excited to show you.
All right, so with that, let's get to the demo. So this is Visible. We'll go over to a Chrome browser. We'll take you through 3 example articles. The first one's going to be talking about King Tutankhamun, some article about Egyptian history. Most of you probably know where Egypt is, but there's other locations that are mentioned in this article that are relevant to the context of what it's talking about. So we'll go to the top right. We'll click on that little ArcGIS logo. We'll pull up collecting relevant location data. It takes about 5 seconds or so to process the article, hand it back. And then in your browser, you get a 3D map of all the locations that are mentioned in the article. You can browse around, click on certain locations. You can reverse search and find out where locations displayed on the map are mentioned in the article. You can zoom in and play around with the map. Again, the idea is to give you additional context as to what's actually being talked about in the article. Example number 2 is going to be an article that we mentioned in our presentation, the one discussing conflict in South Sudan. So we mentioned the area of Juba, the city of Juba, which is actually the capital of South Sudan. We're going to pull up our 3D map, and now you'll have some actual context as to where in the world is Juba. Juba's in about the central area of South Sudan. Now, Juba is also the most relevant place discussed in this article, so we can click that button in the top and explore the most relevant locations, go through ArcGIS Online, find relevant feature layers or maps that have been uploaded by other people, and explore those at your leisure as well. Finally, article number 3, it's important to understand that people who know where certain places are may not be the same across the board. So I'm from the Midwest, I know where Chicago is. My friends here did not, which surprised me. But if you want to find out, right, it's surprising, right? But so Detroit, Chicago, and Madison, places I'm very familiar with, but my friends were not. I can search and pick individual pieces of text in an article and search only for those locations in the 3D map. So we can finally find out where in the world is Chicago. I think everybody should know. It's right next to Lake Michigan, along with Detroit to the northeast and Madison to the north. So those are our 3 articles as examples. You can basically extend this to anything that has text and locations mentioned. So wherever you want to go, whatever you want to read, here's an opportunity to democratize geographic information and make it accessible to as many people as humanly possible. Thank you.
All right, team. Can you guys come over here, please? The next team, please get set up. If you have not yet scored, here's your chance. That was a great presentation and a demo. Does anyone have any questions? You can take 1 or 2 questions. No? You're pretty convinced? Okay, there's one person in the back. If they can get the mic, please.
Why did you choose 3D as opposed to 2D?
We actually thought a lot about that, but we believe that 3D is the most compelling visual. Even though 2D would provide the same information, we think that the person who's just going to be using the browser, the layperson, is going to be much more involved in a 3D map and much more compelled by the visualization, much more able to navigate through the map and be involved in the process.
Cool. All right, thank you, guys. The next team that's going to present is Gistrix. Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
All right, let's go.
All right, thank you again so much for being here. We are Gistrix, bringing GIS to school district zoning. My name is Alexandra. Right over here we have Martine, Harrison, Max, and Nilafar. So bringing GIS to school district zoning, let's get started. So did you know that every public school student is affected by school attendance boundaries? Did anyone know about this? Does anyone know what school attendance boundaries are? Okay, great. Well, for those who don't, it is the geographic area that determines a particular student's local school attendance. So right now, they play a huge role in school resource distribution. So for example, right now, you can see to the left here that there is no standardized way of actually creating these district boundaries, but what we propose is to make the right and make sure that every school has resources instead of the left, where the line was not really drawn correctly. So I'm going to give it to Martine to explain a little more.
Thank you, Alexandra. After talking with a few colleagues and people who work in local government, we implored a little bit about the current workflows that are happening across city governments and unified school districts in determining these boundaries. And basically what we determined is that with larger cities with more resources, sometimes these services are contracted out, but for smaller cities and medium-sized cities, that may not be the case, and the GIS workflow is not standardized. So what we propose is a web application that contains all of the tools that would be necessary to do this kind of task in a way that's easy for people to use. This is important because just to make things easier for this very important process that determines school attendance for children, and also to create a very user-friendly application, our goal is to have this be able to be used by not just GIS analysts, but by anyone. So to make this kind of workflow accessible to people in city governments. And also our push to have these maps hosted online, which goes to our broader vision that I'll let Nilafar discuss a little later in the presentation. But for now, I'd like to turn things over to Harrison and Max, who are going to take us through our technical demo.
Thanks, Martine. Here you can see what our application looks like. We've loaded some middle school boundaries onto the map. These boundaries were taken from the Redlands Unified School District homepage, which we geo-referenced in ArcGIS Pro, and then uploaded to ArcGIS Online for further analysis. We've loaded some random student point data, which you can see here. So depending on where you live, you'll know which school you'll be attending. If we want to filter this information further, because we only have the middle school polygons shown, we can open up the filter widget here and turn on both schools and middle school student information.
We built this application in Web App Builder, and the key to our project was a custom widget that we designed with the ArcGIS JavaScript API that'll allow you to click on boundary polygons and immediately see information that might be interesting for decision makers. So here you can see on the left graphics that have been generated based on the students that would go to the school with information like enrollment status of these kids, the incoming grade levels of these students, and free and reduced lunch status. Now, the cool thing is that as you edit these boundaries, so like here, for example, these graphics will be recomputed based on to reflect these changes and based on the new students that might be going to this school. And we think that this product is simple and easy to use for anyone, not just GIS analysts like we mentioned. So could be a big advancement in this process for school districts.
Thank you. So we wanted our application to be available to public as well. So what we are doing is we are planning to provide a platform for community members, including parents, so they can see how these drawings are the decisions are being made, so they can click on the like button, put a comment, and share their ideas and kind of be involved in this decision-making process. So we are providing a public awareness of this decision.
We aren't all the way there yet, but the work that we've done this weekend in creating this first tool is an important step, we believe, in the process of making this issue matter to communities and making this process easier for district officials. So hopefully, because of what we've done this weekend, we can turn your public school district into a district. Thank you.
So can you guys come over here, please? All right, scoring is open. So if you guys think they did a good job, please vote and record your scores. Do we have any question? I know this might be a very touchy subject, so we don't want too many questions, but can we have, if you have any technical question, I would say, we can ask them. All right, I think it was pretty self-explanatory. Great job, thank you guys. So the next team that will present is Men of Arc. So we can start whenever you guys are ready.
Are we ready? All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Ronak, and we are the Men of Arc. Oops. Just a second. All right. So we are the Men of Arc. My name is Ronak, and our solution is called as Run Immersion. And before I start talking about the solution first, I would like to ask a few questions to you guys. So my question is, how many of you struggle with where to go for a run? Can I see a show of hands? Cool. How many of you would want route suggestions customized to your needs? Good. And how many of you would prefer an analysis of your route before you even begin to run? All right, and finally, how many of you would like to visualize your run before even stepping outside of your house? Yes. All right, so just like you answered yes to these questions, we also did, and we started researching out there that what apps are there in the market that do this. And so we found out that there are apps in the market that allow you to track, train, socialize, suggest, compare, and compete. For example, Strava, Adidas Run, Runtastic, MapMyRun, etc. But we realized that all these apps lack a 3D simulation or a visualization. They don't provide enough route personalization. There's no prior familiarity for the user, and they're not based on Esri engine. There's a saying by Donnie Miller. He says that in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. And since we are in the age of information, we wanted our users, the fitness enthusiasts, to make an informed decision about where they go for a run. So what we wanted them to find out routes from point A to point B, customize their route according to their preferences, analyze it based on the elevation model, and most importantly, 3D visualize their route. So what did we do? Operating within the constraints of the hackathon, of course, because our vision was grand, we created Run Immersion. Now, what is Run Immersion? It's a very simple prototype of a web application that aims at helping fitness enthusiasts and aficionados find customized route suggestions along with elevation analysis and an engaging 3D simulation. We are the Men of Arc, Emilio, Nitish, Franco, and Joe, and myself. And we started with the ideas, we researched the idea, we designed it, we developed ideas, we tried out with different solutions, and we demoed it. The technologies that we used are ArcGIS API for JavaScript, ArcGIS Pro, and ArcGIS Online and Scene. And some of the challenges that we faced were because we were planning to go for an Android application, we were unable to generate multiple routes on Android SDK. We did not have enough experience, so we went with a JavaScript application. We had limited 3D model, and we had incomplete data sets. But despite that, we would still like to show you a demo, and I would like Joe to talk more about it.
Hi guys, how you doing? My name's Joe. Thanks for coming out to our presentations today. I'm going to run you through a quick demo of Run Immersion. So here you see our world, and we're zooming into Redlands. On the left-hand side, you'll notice various parameters. This is the first step, asks, do you know where you want to go? The first option would be yes, I do know where I want to go. The second option is no, surprise me. That's what we're going to choose for our demo. The second step asks, do you know various points of interest along the route that you want to be generated? We selected parks, water fountains, and bike racks to show. The third step, based on step number 2, surprise me, generates a distance, and we're going to be going with a mile. And then the last step shows easy, medium, or hard. We've chosen hard. Hard resembles an increase in elevation. Medium would be flat to slight incline, and then easy would actually be flat to downhill. So if we go ahead and hit play, it's going to zoom into our 3D world, and the simulation will begin. The runner right there, the blue dot in the center, will simulate the run, and as the route changes, the camera actually corrects behind that. We're going to take a quick second to pause right here because we want the 3D textures to actually come and develop. You can see in the background they're going to start to pop up. There's a lot of data that actually takes a long time to load, so if you guys notice the simulation stop, that's because we're slowing it down so you can optimize your viewing experience. So the layers that I got were all from the city of Redlands, GIS area. They didn't offer a whole lot, but what I did gather was the parks layer, which is symbolized by green, bike racks, which are pink squares, drinking fountains, which you actually see in the back there, are the 3D symbol. It's blue to resemble a drinking fountain. And then bathrooms, which actually aren't on this route specifically, are also on here. But they're further out of the scene. We were working with our sample size of downtown Redlands area, so for one of the steps in the future would be to expand our 3D model to give more of a encompassed area. The vegetation came from just simple points. I extruded them in the scene viewer and went to the vegetation tab and selected with the given options. There wasn't a whole lot of vegetation that I could pick specifically, so the trees are not drawn to scale nor species, but they are still there for you to view. As you can see, the 3D symbolization right there, the drinking fountain, is the blue points. In the future, we wanted to add benches, trash cans, anything that would help a person become more immersed in their surroundings. So thanks, guys. I'm going to hand it back to Ronak for conclusion.
All right, so our ultimate vision is definitely to provide more choice to the users, provide familiarity with the route, create personalized routes, and provide an immersive environment, which in turn will lead to a reduction in their cognitive load while they're focusing on the fitness activity. There are endless possibilities with this, with wearable devices, navigation, socialization aspect, virtual reality, and other platforms and analytics. But that's something for the future. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. So next team, please get set up. You guys can come over here. The scoring is open for the Men of Arc. Do you have any questions? Yes, there's one question over there. We'll just take one question while they're getting set up.
I noticed that you are not telling me where I am going. So what about the labels for the streets or things like that?
So the idea is to have an updated GPS that gives you directions as you're going through the route. We were not able to add that feature.
Right. So this is the constraints of the hackathon that you were talking about. Yes, we do understand that. But you can see you got them excited. They want more, which is a good thing. So thank you, guys.
We'll have it.
Thank you so much.
Can you pass the mic? All right, so the next team that's going to come over here are the fire catchers, right? Fire catcher. Are you guys ready?
I believe we're ready.
All right, let's go.
All right, good morning, everyone. Indulge me for a moment, if you will. Everyone put your hands up in the air. Everyone, it's easier than standing. All right, now leave your hand in the air if you have ever seen a unicorn. I always get one joker. We got one up there. Okay, thank you. So now, if you will again, put your hands back up in the air. Now everybody leave your hands in the air if you feel as though you work in a sedentary environment. It means you don't move a lot. All of us here, right? We all work at desks. You're either standing or you're sitting, but we are Team Firecatcher, and this is Firecatcher, a mobile exploration app that aims to combat workplace sedentary environments by offering a simple way to increase health and fitness. Thank you. So just give you a rundown of what we're going to talk about really quickly. Going to go through the team, who we are, what departments we came from, the problem that we decided on, which is health and fitness, the concepts that we initially came up with, give you a really cool, simple demo, and then talk about results and implications for the future. So on our team, we have Amy Lang, Daniel Fusha, Dao Lei, and Aaron Benson. I'm Alec Gentink, and we come from almost every department you could imagine. I'm a marketing guy, not necessarily GIS or developing, but all of our talents came together to create this product, and we think it's really cool. So we looked at, like I said, causes of poor health in the workplace. Now, you'll notice we have two workers here who look very sad. They're not moving very much. They're sitting down. They're kind of hunched over their computers doing work. That might be some of you today, and if so, this is the whole reason we created this app. You'll notice that about 56% of workers believe that they're overweight, and 51% believe that they sit a majority of the day. And this is based on a survey of 3,400 people in 2017. Aaron? So, by simply increasing your activity to 15 minutes a day, that's during a 15-minute simple break, which I've mapped, you can walk around the campus almost in that time, you're able to cause a significant number of increases. So you'll decrease your blood pressure, you'll increase your mobility, boost your cognitive performance, which is really important for all you smart people here, and also boost your mood, makes you a happier worker. So now I'm going to pass things off to Dan, who's going to give you a run through of our demo and how it works.
This is a demo we made walking around on the Esri campus of our iteration that we managed to accomplish this weekend. In the center of the app, you can see that the user's location is there, and as they move around, the map is updated to show their location. And part of the user interface is a little color bar. We call it the hot-cold distance bar. There's a little marker that moves as the user gets closer or farther away to the unicorns. For the demo, we did put in a little distance there to make sure that was working, so we have a numeric value. And then you can see a little blue dot, and that is the unicorn as the user gets closer to it. Now, to make this happen for the weekend, we did put it on the client, on the phone, to make it work. And some of the Esri products we used were the ArcGIS Android SDK. We used the base map from ArcGIS Online and put a map view there. Once the unicorn is captured, there it is, then a new unicorn is generated within a custom extent. And we defined that extent based on the Esri campus. Just a couple of things that it gets within about 3 meters. Yeah, so that's what we managed to accomplish this weekend with the demo.
In addition, we also wanted to track the activity of our unicorn hunters. So we extracted GPS locations, and we created line densities in ArcGIS Pro. And from there, we uploaded it to ArcGIS Online. And we created a web app using the basic viewer template in Web App Builder. Here we have a simple splash page. And visualized in green are the user paths that were extracted from the GPS locations. If we turn on our layers list, we see our first density layer, it's coming up, and the areas in bright red indicate areas that are most commonly traveled by our users. And if we want to compare that to the location of Fire the Unicorn, we see that in point locations coming up. And our second density layer in bright red indicates the longest distances traveled by our unicorn hunters. So the purpose of our app is threefold. First, we wanted to utilize GPS location mapping in order to provide insights into the overall health of the campus, so presenting campus activity. And secondly, we really wanted to encourage our unicorn hunters to go out and to explore areas of campus that they may not have otherwise explored. Finally, we also wanted to encourage our employees to go out and utilize their short work breaks and do something fun and quirky, in this instance, searching for unicorns. We wanted to take all that, and we really wanted to get our users out and moving. So in order to do that, as Daniel mentioned before, we utilized GPS location mapping. We used geofencing as well as on-the-fly distance calculations. We also used ArcGIS Pro for data processing, and then we utilized ArcGIS Online and Web App Builder for our data visualization of user activity.
For the future, what we'd like to see is that Firecatcher interacts with the Geo event server, and that the code happens on the server side where new unicorns are generated within custom extents. We'd also like to implement a database that captures unique user data, how many steps a user used in the app, how many unicorns they've caught, and we could turn that into a multiplayer game with features like a leaderboard. And we do envision it as possibly going on to being used at other businesses, at campuses, schools. And with some of the feedback we got when we presented last weekend was that actually children are quite interested in this app, and you can understand why, but I think that we could all enjoy catching unicorns. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Team Firecatcher. That was great. So next team, please get set up. We can take 1 or 2 questions. Does anybody have a question? Other than when can they get this? All right. Looks like they're pretty convinced. All right. Thank you, guys. So the next team that's going to present are the map setters. So you guys are not ready yet, so we're going to wait. Are you guys ready? Cool. All right, let's go.
All right, hello everyone. We are the map setters. Here's our team. You'll get to meet each of us as the presentation goes along. And our app is called New Circle. All right, so our vision for creating this app was to offer people the opportunity to post local news and events that pertain to their community. So we felt that currently there isn't a single outlet where community members can discuss things that are happening in their neighborhoods. So our mission was to create a platform for location-based, crowdsourced news that brings in diversity, inclusion, and user-focused reporting. So we felt that there are 4 main values that our app offers to users. So the first is transparency. People can see where their news is coming from and that it's coming from the community. They can also see multiple sources of news, which reduces bias. In addition, they can visualize those stories and see where the news is happening in relation to them. That data is updated in real time, and our app also allows people to communicate with each other in their community offline, which brings in community value.
So we used Sketch for most of our prototyping and design, and we created our data sets using ArcGIS Pro and all the relations that we created in ArcGIS Pro and published them to ArcGIS Online as feature services and map services. We used Xamarin Forms to develop our app, as we know that Xamarin is a multi-cross-platform application development. And we used the ArcGIS Runtime SDK to consume all the data services or the map services that we created and published on ArcGIS Online. And mostly mapping services and feature services to play around the data on the application. So pretty much this is our technical stack.
So let's take a quick snippet into what the actual person will see. Here you see a map zoomed in, and oh, there's a dog. I hope he's not lost. Oh, but there's a community value point coming out. Help, lost dog. From there, you can see the dog moving again, and then, oh, there's another one right on cue. So essentially, with New Circle, you can basically tell people around your community and your neighborhood what exactly is happening, what events are going on. Is there a lost dog? And hopefully, like this person, she was able to find her dog within minutes of being lost because of this application. And now Eliza will take you into a further demo.
Yeah, thank you, Octavio. I think that was just kind of what a user might use this app for, but I'm going to show you guys what the actual interface of the app is and show you kind of how you would experience the app. So yeah, let's get into it. So here you see the interface of our application. It zooms into our location, but as you zoom out, you can start to see news stories throughout the Redlands area. They're symbolized based on different categories, and let's say you only have an interest in one type of category. You can apply a filter. In this case, we're applying the political filter. And now you only see stories that have to do with politics, and this is useful for your city planner, a politician. You want to see where stuff is happening that actually pertains to your interests. We can switch over to the science and technology filter. You can open up a story and you can see that there is a drone race happening, and if that interests you, you actually know where it is happening and you can go there. You can also like that story if you want to. Now let's zoom into our location again. Oh, we're going to reset the filter so that way you can see all the stories again. We're going to zoom into our location, and now we're actually going to add a story to the map. So you click the Add Story button, and in this case, we wanted to let everyone know what was happening in the Esri Cafe over the weekend, and that was the hackathon. So you click the Add Story button, you click on the map where you want it to go, and you add in a title, add in a filter category, in this case science and technology, and you let people know what's happening there. You can be as long-winded as you want to be. In this case, we're being short, and we're letting people know what's happening. So you add that story to the map, and there it is in real time. You can open up your story and see what's going on, and so can other users. So we're going to switch over to a different display that we have in our application, and this is the heat map. And this is really useful for if you actually want to zoom out of your community and start to see more data displayed on the map, you can see in a heat map. A heat map is a lot more effective at communicating large amounts of data because instead of having multiple points, it actually kind of aggregates that data and displays it in a more readable way. This is really useful for if you want to kind of see what's going on in the rest of the world around the United States. You can see that a lot's happening in San Francisco. You can explore maybe why that is, or if you have people around the world that matter to you, you can zoom in and see what's happening in their area. And then lastly, just some of the challenges that we faced. I think the biggest one that we had is we had limited technical resources, which is our way of saying we had one developer who worked very hard to kind of incorporate all of our ideas that we were having. And on that end, he used Xamarin because that's a cross-platform framework for app development, which is really exciting, but at the same time, Xamarin is new and there's limited support for the actual UI end. So in that, we were a little bit limited with the support that we had, but overall, we're happy with what we created. So thank you, and special shout out, thank you to the mentors who helped us a lot throughout this process. Yeah.
All right, just a reminder, you guys can score, so please let us know how this team did. That was great. Do you guys have any questions? No? All right, good. Awesome. All right, thank you guys. All right, so the next team that's going to present is No More Problems, and we'll just wait for you guys to get set up. They were high up in the auditorium. It took a while for them to come down. That's okay. So let us know when you're ready. You guys are ready? All right.
Good morning, everybody. We are No More Problems, and today we'll be introducing our Integrated Assistant, a feature for ArcGIS Pro. My name is Alex, and these are my team members, Adan, Blair, Zach, and Audrey. What is the problem? The problem is that it's difficult for new users and unversed users to use Pro. So let me ask a few questions. How many have seen Pro? Can you raise your hand? All right. And how many of you have actually used Pro? Okay. And do you remember your first times using Pro? Because I know I do. This past weekend, I went through a few of the tutorials found on learnarcgis.com to test our integrated assistant. From there, I kind of realized that it was a little bit difficult to follow some of the steps because they were very comprehensive and complex, or sometimes I would just find it difficult to find the icons I needed to do in order to move on to the next step. So this is where our integrated assistant comes in. It is a new approach to learning how to use Pro. It is interactive because it's located right on the ribbon for easy access, and it provides a visual experience by a highlighting feature. This provides a visual experience for all users to be able to know how to use the program. It is simple because it's easy to follow. It provides a step-by-step guidance, and it can be integrated with learnarcgis.com and a few other lesson modules. You can move on to the next one. It can also be self-paced because you can save and modify at your best convenience, or upload and share with any of your colleagues that have Pro.
So part of our innovation process was we use primarily C#. We use the ArcGIS Pro SDK for .NET, and of course, ArcGIS Pro. So some of our challenges that were posed during our time here during the hackathon was we also, just like the map setters, had one developer to create this whole interface. We were limited to the C# language, And Blair and I were very inexperienced with the ArcGIS Pro SDK, just like couple of the other teams. And we kind of had it was a learning experience for us because we had to kind of dig into it and make sure that we really understood and make sure we were implementing the correct things into our program. Also, 3 of the members had never dealt with Pro before, and so this was a hands-on learning experience for them as well, because they were able to really immerse themselves in the program and begin on their journey to learn ArcGIS Pro. So what we're seeing here is kind of our demo here. So you'll notice that we took one of the modules from learn.arcgis.com, and this is a scenario that potentially a new user or a new employee in a department that maybe had to take a GIS analyst position, maybe they had no prior GIS knowledge, and you see different highlighting features for the program, for our integrated assistant, that allows them to make a simple map of these Vietnam War bombing locations. And with that, you can see different tutorials on the side that says exactly what to do, where to click, and how to proceed with the next steps. So our future vision for this product, this is the most important part, is where we want to go with it. Obviously, we couldn't create everything in 2 days. I was up next to Blair pretty much the whole time trying to learn C#. He was my best buddy. We were cuddling pretty much the whole time. But something we'd like to see future is a help pane that maybe shows frequently asked questions that are posed by users or by internally with Esri employees, pre-recorded tutorials created by a manager or somebody that knows those workflows that wants to relay them to someone else. Maybe more integrate GeoNet into the program. Maybe see where, if there's a blog post you're interested in, you can search for it just right there. And the important key for all of these resources is that they would be available on and offline. Also, any other internal organizational workflows will be important to follow just for future use. Thank you very much.
All right. Any questions for no more problems? Great. All right, thank you guys. And the next team that's going to present, this is the last team, so the 9th team is going to present is Baby Got Hack. And we do have a gizmo here. So let us know when you're ready. Okay? Are you okay, man?
No, we need it later.
Okay, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Good? All right, so we're Baby Got Hack. We've all seen numbers like this, right? This is the volume of water that the residents of California will use while showering throughout their lifetime. Numbers like these are used to stun us into caring about conservation and the environment and climate change. But we've also all seen headlines like these. And as we're scrolling through Facebook, maybe we click on it, we read it, maybe we get a little sad or scared, but then your friend Jen texts you and invites you out to dinner, and pretty soon you've forgotten all about it. Anyone else guilty of this? Yeah. So the problem with numbers is that people are visual, right? Because we can't comprehend numbers like those, and we certainly can't understand the difference that our choices as individuals can make in the face of numbers so large. But maybe you're thinking, at Esri, we know this, right? We make beautiful maps that allow us to see the world beyond the numbers. But what if we could do more? What if there was a way to make our experiences 3D, immersive, and unforgettable? Our app, the Terra Lens, combines the HoloLens with Esri data to make experiencing climate change and the impact of your decisions possible. We've created a way to actually make these numbers concrete, to see them, to interact with them, and to experience them in ways you can't with traditional 2D mapping. Just as Esri transformed mapping through GIS in the digital space, we want to take that one step further by using mixed reality, and my good friend Amir is going to show you exactly how.
Thank you very much, Laura. Let's see what we can see. But before I start, I would like to mention that whatever I see, you're going to see it on a screen with 3-second delay. And unfortunately, you're going to see it with lower quality, since HoloLens hardware is not that much powerful to stream all the data in a good quality. But anyway, let's start. I can see a hologram right in front of me, but it's far. And I'm going to use my hand gesture and also my voice command to bring it in my own position. So I'm going to say, place hologram. Place hologram. And now you can see it says, I heard you. So HoloLens is ready for my hand gesture. I'm going to put my hand in front of it and pinch and move it. Now you can see the map just moved into my position. I can also interact with other holograms and rotate the map in front of me. There is a menu in front of me, and one of the options is average temperature, which is related to our topic for today. I'm going to tap on it, and you can see it gives me more options. And when I tap on other options, the image on the map is going to change, which are representing the average weather in California. But this is a normal way to use pictures to show our data. But sometimes pictures or even numbers are not good enough to send a message. Sometimes they're not good enough for us to feel the message. So we're going to do something else. We're going to go to Mount Everest. And as you can see, we're going to go to Mount Everest. And we put a stage in one of those mountains in Himalaya. And when I tap on it, then I will be inside of that part of the Mount Everest. And right there in front of me, in that place, you can see a huge cube, which is almost in the same height as Mount Everest. And it represents the amount of water that people in California use to take shower. But right now, we're going to see what's going to happen if all of them just say 1 minute to taking shower, and we're going to see how much water they're going to save. I'm going to say, save water. Save water. And now I can see it and feel the difference without showing any number or any images. Let's get back. Jump out. Jump out. So again, I'm looking at the Mount Everest. This is a beautiful map, and I don't want to just, go away. I want to take a look at this part and then say, jump inside. Jump inside. And right now, I'm inside of the Mount Everest. I can walk. There is no wire attached to me. I'm not limited to anything. I can even ask for temperature. Show me temperature. And now you can see it's 1.5 Fahrenheit. Let's get back again. Jump out. Jump out. Jump out. Oh, we have a little bit echo in here. Jump out. All right, now you can see the map went back wherever it was before, which means HoloLens can remember the position of our digital world inside of our real world. So what you just saw, we made it in a very short time. We had to use geoprocessing workflow to make those images for California state, and we got those from ArcGIS Pro. We had to make a texture packer for HoloLens to use Esri imagery services. We had to make a train system, a custom train system, to use Esri elevation data. We even had to make a custom API to work with HoloLens. We didn't use HoloToolkit. So there wasn't any, like input.getMouse button, nothing. We almost started from zero. And we also used a Python script to generate a JSON file to get that temperature in real time. So let's get back to Laura. Laura?
Thanks, Amir. So you can see that our example was climate change, but I hope you can imagine how the Terra Lens can be used across any industry to make any map immersive, 3D, and unforgettable. So you can't just click away. If Esri is the science of where, the Terra Lens is the science of being there. Thank you all so much for watching our presentation. We're Baby Got Hack, and we really appreciate your attention.
All right. Thank you, team. That was a great demo. So we are done. We are done with all the 9 presentation. A big round of applause to all the teams. Great job. You guys can go back and sit. Thank you. Don't forget to vote. So the next thing is, we need to remember why we are here. We are here to give away the prizes. That means we need to know who are the winners. Thank you for voting. So the voting actually is a combined score of what you guys voted today, plus a voting that was done or scoring that was done during the event itself, where we had much more categories to actually vote. So you guys were only given 3. There was about 6 categories that the judges had to use during the event. So the next question is, what are the prizes? We have in the first place, that's the overall winner. The second place, that's the overall winner. So those 2 are for the top 9 teams. The best presentation is also for the top 9 teams because they presented today. But there are other 2 prizes, which is the best team effort and the best pitch. And these 2 actually could be won by any team, even the teams that were not here. Okay? And the winners are, we are not that real time, we are near real time. So just give me about a minute before I actually show the results. And why don't we watch the video that we have actually recorded earlier during the event so that you guys can catch up as to what exactly happened. Right, we are actually ready. How about that? So it was just me trying to get my browsers up and running. That was the time. The scores were already recorded. This just gives you a brief glimpse. There were a lot of votes here. Thank you. So these were the individual scores. I'm not going to go through them. I'll actually share it with the teams. But here, we are here for the winners. All right. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. I'm going to refresh it one more time. It's real time. It didn't change. So that's good. So the first prize goes to our sincerest apologies. You guys, can you guys come in front, please? I don't think anybody's taking pictures. Are you guys taking pictures? Then you can just stand here and then take a picture. All right? Good? All right. And our second place winner is Baby Got Hack. All right. So the next prize is for the best team effort. And all right. And this prize actually goes to Team Wine GIS. There was, I just wanted to let you know, there was a bit of inception going on with this team because we were doing a live Zoom session. 3 were there together in Charlotte, and they had to do one more Zoom session to a guy from Portland, and all of them had to collaborate on the screen and then project it back to us as a team. So it was pretty challenging. Not only that, they actually worked through the Pacific time zone. That was great too. So they accommodated our time zones, and they stayed with us throughout, and they did not get all the goodies that these guys got over here for food and other things. Get the idea? I mean, it was a great effort. So great job, Team WineGIS. You guys, you are on the stream right now, so don't worry. We will actually inter-office your prizes to you, and you should be receiving it very, very soon. Not in real time, though. Okay? All right, the best pitch. Remember the pitch videos that you saw, the 30-second videos? So the exercise of that was that on Sunday morning, we gave each team a heads up on Saturday that we're going to record a 30-second video. So in between their hackathon event, they had to take some time and prepare a sort of an elevator pitch, and then actually present their idea in 30 seconds or less. And they could be as innovative as they wanted. That was the idea. And you saw all the videos, and we actually gathered, and the best presentation, or sorry, the best pitch actually goes to the GI Yes team. Are you guys here? So the GIS team is here. Can you guys just stand up so that we can all applaud you? And you can collect your certificates and prizes from the HR. All right. All right. From the HR. And the best presentation, that's one more prize that we had. So the best presentation based on today's presentation efforts also goes to Baby Got Hack. All right. Actually, that's it. We are done. Last year we had 20 minutes planned for scoring, and now you see the value of real time. It was and crowdsourcing, so we didn't have to do any of the hard work of scoring. So thank you guys for voting. Hope you had a good time. You saw all the creative work. By the way, if anyone is looking to hire, some of them are available for hire. And you should let Corianne know, and she can provide you a list. And if you guys want any more detailed demos in your own departments, I believe they're actually open to that, so you can call them in and get more details. And I want to give a big thank you for all the interns who have worked tirelessly. Over the weekend. And we have met many times. When they proposed their ideas, there was a deadline to propose ideas. I individually met with each team, asking them to tell me what the ideas is. And many a times I've actually sent them back saying it's not good. Because either some other team has similar idea or it was already done before, they just didn't know. So they had to go and revisit their ideas again and again and refine it to a point where it was either unique or something interesting or something that we guys have not seen before, or it's a real world problem asking for a solution. So one of these criteria. So thank you for working with me, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the event. Thank you.